Tom Myhill from Horizon Agriculture. I'm product manager for the row crop machines. So we're here in the field today with the PPX planter and the SPX strip till, courtesy of Burden's Group hosting us today. So we're showcasing the new generation PPX. This is an 8-row, 75 centimetre machine, so 6 metres wide. We're drilling maize today at 2 inches. We're using liquid starter fertiliser as well. So what's unique about the PPX is the parallel linkage. This is based on all Horizon products, so it's contour following, built to withstand quite a lot of downforce, so actually forward speed isn't an issue with any of our machines. This machine runs precision planting Delta Force. Delta Force is a on-the-go adjustable downforce system. It's monitoring the weight on the gauge wheels set in cab. As the load pin reacts to the conditions in front of the planter, it will either put downforce pushing the unit down, and if it's very light ground, it will actually lift the unit out of the ground to make sure that it's maintaining the right amount of downforce. The unit is hydraulically adjusted, so the computer in the cab, the 2020 screen which we run, you can set the parameters to how it adjusts, so light, medium, heavy or custom, and that is basically telling the drill how much pressure to put on those gauge wheels. Why we do that is because if we have too much pressure on the gauge wheels, we'll be causing compaction around the seed, and any compaction around the seed can limit yield, so that's what we're trying to avoid. We then have row cleaners. These are air adjusted row cleaners on the go in the cab again with the screen, and they're predominantly used if we're going into fields with a lot of trash. They'll clear the trash out of the way to make sure we've got good seed to soil contact. They're also quite good at a little bit of light cultivation. It's crushing clods or removing clods and stones out of the way of the seed. We then come into the seeding unit, where we run an electronic meter. So this is counting seeds. It's calibrating itself constantly, so there's no need to calibrate the machine on the go. We can offer multiple different seed wheels. So if this drill could drill sugar beet, oilseed rape, sorghum, sunflowers, anything that's a small seed, this system can use. It uses a vacuum fan, so it sucks the seed onto the disc, and then the seed, it knocks off the disc as the vacuum runs out and then falls into the ground. If we come into the closing system, we are running seed firmers, Keaton seed firmers, which are pushing the seed into the ground to make sure we've got good seed to soil contact. As this machine is running liquid fertilizer, we also deliver the liquid fertilizer out the back of the seed firmer. This then squirts the liquid very close to the seed. Alternatively, if the customer didn't want to use liquid, we could use solid granular starter fertilizer, and we would have a disc in the front here cutting that into the soil. The benefit of the liquid is we're using much less application rates, and we can also put the fertilizer much closer to the seed where it can uptake it quicker and hopefully avoid any stressing of that plant early on. We run a 2-stage closing system known as furrow force. This is, the first stage is the star wheels, which are removing the sidewall of the seed trench. So we're destroying the sidewall to make sure we have no compaction being caused by the seeding system. This is then followed by a packer wheel. The packer wheel is air adjusted from the cab. We can set that on the go with load pins. That's monitoring the soil density, and we can have that light, average or heavy depending on the soil conditions again. As I say, the unit is calibrated from the factory with the seed depth, so this handle will adjust the seed depth. We have numbers on the side and they correlate to the inches, so we are currently on 2 inches, which means every seed is being put on at 2 inches. Very easy to calibrate once a year to make sure every seed is going into a consistent seed bed. The hoppers are they run a vacuum system, so they're sealed hoppers, 65 litres. do run on this machine is known as a smart firmer. This is a sensor sensing the soil as it goes through. What it's looking at is soil temperature, the organic matter, cation exchange, the cleanliness of the furrow to make sure we've got no trash going near the seed. But probably most importantly, it's looking at the soil moisture, and it will flag up if there's not enough moisture to get that maize seed to germinate. And therefore, if there's not enough moisture, it may prompt the operator to increase the sowing depth to make sure we are going into moisture. On this tractor, we are delivering liquid fertilizer from the front tank. This is a 1500 litre tank with electric motor on the pump on the front. This tank can also be a split tank, so we can also deliver 2 products to the maize planter behind, so we could have liquid nitrogen going into the row, and we can also have the starter fertilizer as well. The front hopper has a clean water reservoir as well, so we can flush out the system every night by diverting the taps. And you'll see the gauge at the front there, so it's a very visual for the operator to know. But we can also, it'll be monitoring it in the cab on the 2020 screen. It'll be telling the operator how many litres are left in the tank. So the front tank as like any crop sprayer, will have a set of filters. This one only has 1 pump because we've only got 1 liquid in there. If we had 2, we'd have 2 pumps and 2 filter systems. This tank can also, it's only on the 3-point linkage, so it can be used for the DSX, which is Horizon's direct drill, this can be put on the back of that to deliver liquid fertilizer on that machine, and then swapped onto this one if a farmer didn't want to buy 2 tanks. Running two liquid products through this planter. We would obviously have the first one coming out through the seed firmers as mentioned, but we can also deliver liquid nitrogen, and that would be stainless steel tubes coming out here and then putting the liquid nitrogen on the outside of the row, so we're keeping it away from the seed to make sure we're not got scorch, but it's going into the ground readily available for the crop to uptake. Of the PPX is actually we can run very narrow units. The gauge wheels are quite narrow, allowing us to push it right down to 37 centimetres if a grower wanted to grow something at that narrow width. Predominantly a lot of people will be running these either on 45, 50 or 75 centimetres depending if it's maize or sugar beet. So we have the 2020 screen running through the PPX. What the 2020 screen is showing you, every parameter that the drill is monitoring or changing. This is from population, singulation, a downforce happening, the vacuum, which is your fan, obviously that's off at the moment, hence it's yellow, skips, hectares. Good ride is the most crucial one, so that's looking at all the parameters, and if that's running at 100%, that means that the drill is doing the best job it can. If that starts to fall below 90%, it will start going yellow, mean probably slow down. If it goes red, an alarm will start alarming to say actually the drill is really not doing a very good job, so actually the operator needs to either look at what may be the issue, or if it's on very rough stony soil, it may just be a factor of slowing down. We have lots of different metrics, so we've got the obviously the drill's not running at the moment, but we've got the furrow moisture, so that's reading from the smart firmers. We've got organic matter, soil temperature, so that's the outside temperature at the moment. We've got the amount of liquid in the front tank. We've got row cleaner pressure. Obviously we're not using the row cleaners, so they are not being sensed. And then we've got, if we look into downforce, this is where we can adjust the target downforce. So this is how many kilograms are on those gauge wheels. So as we're on quite light soil and it's quite moist, we don't want to be turning too much pressure on. And then every parameter will go through a map, and this is the map for the applied downforce. So this is looking at every row by row. Different colors mean what's happening within that row. So if we've got a purple or a blue, it means actually that row is lifting itself up. And if we're going into yellow, potentially red here is putting 100 kilos down on that individual row, because that row is not having a good enough seed to soil contact, so that that unit will be applying more downforce. And its neighbour next door was actually lifting at minus 20 kilos, and that one was at 100 kilos. So that's the on-the-go adjustment we have. So this map here is showing the good ride. So that's the planter looking at all the parameters and telling the operator if everything is running as sweetly as it can. Green means perfect. When we start going red or orange, it means that that individual unit is either bouncing too much or there may be an issue with something. So actually it makes sure that the operator checks it. Most of the time, if we're looking at this map, it's just possibly it's come out of a smooth ride, so actually it may have hit a stone or a cloddy area, and then it falls back into the green, which is fine. And then we've got things like the singulation. So this is looking at every skip or multiple or good. So this is looking at individual seeds. Colourful map, but actually, you know, once you actually drill in, we're still achieving over 99% singulation on it. It's just showing every bad seed, and that may be because the seed in the bag is not quite uniform shape, so actually the planter has struggled to suck it onto the disc.